I'm wearing black and brown together on my shirt. And you're wearing all black and you're wearing all brown. So that's crazy. That's really cool.
Well, guys, this is our first official guest of season 2. We've got Rob Wheeler here.
Bow, bow.
Court, you want to hit the sound effect? I was going to. Okay.
Wrong one.
Well,
that's okay.
That's on brand for me. Wrong one.
Thanks for coming today.
Wrong lever.
Yeah. Wrong lever. Wrong.
Oh my gosh. And Rob, you're actually our first guest in our new direction with the podcast, which is actually giving it structure. So we're kind of delving into a direction of we want to have on people who are starting something, people who are very into like holistic healing, or people who are, what are the 3 things? We had 3 things. This is why
Builders, it's healers, and it's people who've experienced a medical journey themselves. So like our friend Train came on to share some of his journey through.
Dude, his story is so cool.
Yeah.
That was a great episode.
Fire surviving. Pretty crazy. So
I need to have coffee with him.
yeah,
he would love that.
He would love to
Shout
drink
out.
coffee.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I love
Train.
it.
So yeah.
Anyways, so that's kind of the direction for this. But before we jump into it, our season 2 sponsor, Christine Avery with Realty One Group Leading Edge, is a trusted realtor and home matchmaker serving Central Virginia, including Lynchburg and Richmond. She helps first-time homebuyers, downsizers, and military families confidently navigate the buying and selling process. Christine is also bilingual and proudly assists Spanish-speaking clients. Thanks, Christine.
We love
You're the
Christine.
Let's go.
Christine's awesome.
And Liam, cue that theme music, because did you hear our theme music?
All of this is called Love Heals.
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 Love heals. Love heals.
No one should have to walk through hardship alone.
Yeah, so one, Rob is someone who we've had a lot of conversations with. Well, Rob, actually, you didn't give me your bio, so now you get to introduce yourself.
I did not give you my
So go ahead
bio.
and Rob, tell the people who you are and what you do.
You know, it's funny because you guys are kind of starting a new direction now, right? Where you're kind of building something that's new, and I'm building something new. And so when you asked me for my bio, I was like, crap, I'm in the middle of updating it.
Yeah.
Because what I really want to be known for is somebody who's a connector, who's just connecting other people to story and mission. So, I mean, my bio is, I've been in the nonprofit world now for 7 years. I've been in marketing and small business for the last 16 years. You know, along the way, I think the thing that I like getting up and doing every single morning is helping people tell their story better. And connecting people who have the passion for something to people who also have that passion, but maybe are coming from a different vantage point. And so I think relationship capital is the capital that matters more than anything else. I think, you know, shout out to Christine Kennedy.
Woohoo.
Money follows mission.
Is that who's coined that? Because I always
know,
hear
everybody-
Allison say it. So
And Allison always gives credit to Christine.
okay, there we go.
And so I think that's where it came from. That was the most simplified version of it. I used to walk around saying something that was longer. It took longer to say. But then hearing Christine say money follows mission, I was like, that's it. That's all of it. So focus on the mission. So,
Yeah.
So there's my bio-ish. Yeah.
That's good. I'll take it.
Mission clarity.
Yeah, Rob has his own, is it a company?
LLC.
Called?
Yeah,
LLC,
it's an
like a
LLC.
company.
Yeah. I'm in my LLC era.
Very Taylor Swift of you.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting.
Yeah.
We meet with Rob once a month, and he kind of helps us. I've said that he takes the chaos from mine and Courtney's brain and like grabs it and like pulls it out and lays it out in front of us for a minute, which has been very helpful and I feel like entertaining for you.
I love problem solving.
Yeah, it's fun. We kind of like anytime Courtney is like, what should we do about this? I'm like, let's talk to Rob about it tomorrow. And that's normally just the dump that she has. But But I mean, Court, you kind of have I just mediate when it comes to this kind of, when we
You probably
have a
shouldn't
guest
wiggle
on.
that thing around as much.
Sorry, I can't help it. I
Yeah.
talk with my hands, so
That's
this
okay.
is hard. But what kind of, I mean, Rob clearly kind of falls into, I would say, a couple of our little categories that we're focusing on. But
Well, Rob, let's start with out of the 3 categories, which one do you connect with the most?
You said builder, and I was like, that's me.
I figured it was, and that's why we invited you on. But out of the other categories, healer and lived experience, do you have any ties to those 2 before we go into the one you're most connected with?
So I think, on the medical lived experience, I don't personally have like a medical journey, right? I've been close to a number of people who have had medical journeys that were wild. And so I'll say that your mission at Love Heals of helping people that are walking through hardships and coming alongside them so they don't have to do it alone, that resonated with me when I first, because I started connecting with you, Courtney, before Love Heals really even became an official.
But yeah,
official. And
what year was that?
it was, 2019?
2019.
Yeah, and I had met with you and Sully at Third Wave, and you had
Yeah, that's
recommended
right.
The Go-Giver.
Yeah.
Huge influential book.
I have a stack of Go-Givers next to my bedstand.
All of them are like the OG one, because there's like,
Just the OG. I've never read any of the other ones. So I hand out that one. I've started handing out another book too. So it really depends on who the person is and what sector they're in.
Okay.
But I hand out two books to anybody that I meet with on a regular basis. So the
Yeah.
Go-Giver's one, and the other one's Unreasonable Hospitality.
ooh, we just finished that. It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, so about the books, why The Go-Giver was your first recommendation when we sat down, and Love Heals was just this like conceptual.
Because I envision a world where people are not afraid to give, but also to receive when somebody gives them something. I grew up in a really legalistic background, and so receiving was almost like a negative. Like you had to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and you had to do it yourself, and you had to be the man, right? And I still struggle with that. And so if I don't intentionally manage that in myself, I become very self-centered in terms of I have a problem, I'm going to fix it myself. I'm not going to reach out to other people. And so that's why I think connection is such a big thing to me, is because I recognize that I can help other people, but in the process, some other people have helped me along the way. And giving somebody the opportunity, the blessing to give back. That's a good thing. So that's why I usually hand out like the Go-Giver or Unreasonable Hospitality, because I want to flip things on their head with somebody and see how they react to it. Because if they're willing to read a book, then I know I can work with them.
There you go.
But if they're not willing to read a book, then I'm like,
That's good. That's a good
they're probably
litmus
not my
test.
they're probably not my people.
That's awesome. I like that. What is your thoughts on the phrase "God helps those who help themselves"?
Well, it's patently false to start with, right? Because for by grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like Jesus flipped how we do human relationships on its head.
Yes.
Right? He went to the people in the society that were unclean. He went to the people in society who were on the margins, and he saw them. Right? What did he do with fishermen? He went fishing with them.
Crazy.
Right. And then, one of my favorite stories is the woman at the well, where he didn't delve into her lifestyle. He just sat down next to her and just said, "Hey, tell me about yourself." Right? So God helps those who help themselves. So why have God at all? Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
So, anyway,
I've been thinking about that statement lately. So as you were saying that, I was like, because I've been thinking, because I was told God helps those who help themselves.
Yeah.
And
I told you that.
my family, and I love my family, but like, that's what they were taught. So I mean,
Right.
it's like, I'm not out here to blame or like be like, but they have this mindset, and I grew up with a what's the word I'm looking for? Self-sufficient.
You're self-sufficient.
Independent, don't need anybody mindset, and anything else is weakness.
Right.
And so but then I'm in this position, right, where we do Love Heals and we help people, and you help people, and then it kind of feels counterintuitive to be to somebody like, no, it's okay that you need help. But then my internal core belief is telling me that it's actually not okay. And I've noticed that that's a, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah. Tension in myself that's not reconciled yet.
I think asking for help is one of the hardest things for somebody to do who grew up with any kind of legalism or perfectionism, right? Because you're taught that you're supposed to be self-sufficient. And so it was a struggle for me, but I think that's like the idea of the go-giver, where it's like, hey, I'm just going to go help somebody, no strings attached. And that's where I've had the most blessing in my life is, there's been a few people now where I said, hey, I'm just going to come alongside you for a period of time, whether it's 6 months or a year or whatever. I'm just going to help you right where you're at. And you know what? God always blesses that in ways that I don't always anticipate. And I think the lesson for where I'm at right now is learning how to receive help from somebody else, because I don't know how to do that. So that one's just
Me either.
yeah. Well, because we don't want to.
Yeah.
Right. There's a certain vulnerability there.
Yeah.
Right. To ask you, hey, Sarah, can you hand me this thing over here? Right. It takes some vulnerability in me because it's like I'm admitting I can't do it for myself. But for Sarah's like, yeah, absolutely, I'll help you.
Easy. Yeah. 100%.
Right. And it blesses her. But I have to get rid of the idol of myself because really what's happening is I've got an ego problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, ego comes up a lot in conversations with I want to get into that, but first we should back up and just go over where are you from? Who are you? Like, what is Rob Wheeler? Like, you say you're a builder, you fit in with that section. So what is your story on how you got there in a snapshot?
Okay, so let's try the 90-second version, right?
That.
So Rob is, I'm in my 40s. I have been a small business owner for most of my adult life. I've worked in retail environments. I've worked for nonprofit, whether it's management or director level or whatnot. I think as I got out into my local community, especially here in Lynchburg is where it really started to happen for me. And started shaking hands with people. And I just loved hearing why people did what they did. And we have a ton of nonprofits here in Lynchburg.
So many.
Like, we could solve a lot of problems with our nonprofits here in Lynchburg. And so anytime I'd run into any different circle, there's always this nonprofit's doing this over here. But then there's another nonprofit over here that's doing the same thing, but maybe in a different neighborhood. And I'm like, why aren't they together? And it's like, well, maybe they don't believe the same thing, or maybe they the cultural differences across different parts of our community, I think often drives this sense of like, it's very separatist, right? Like I grew up independent fundamental Baptist, separatist, right?
Yeah.
And as I got older, I've realized, man, separatism that's idolatry. I'm not saying that don't be careful about what you believe.
Sure.
Right?
Because protect you
gotta protect your core beliefs.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, if this person over here is trying to make sure that kids are safe in their own homes, then I'm going to work with somebody else who's also doing that, right? To the point where I don't have to compromise my own personal beliefs, right? And most of the time, you don't ever have to do that around that space. So that was an eye opener for me. But who I am and what makes me who I am, I think, is oftentimes you become who you are because of responding to trauma in your own life.
Ta-da.
and so the things that you did to protect yourself eventually become part of who you are. And one of the statements that people say that I always take issue with is, man, if only I knew then what I know now, I would have done this differently. But guess what? You wouldn't be who you are now if you hadn't been who you were then. Everything changes. You can't just take wisdom from here, transport it back in time, and fix X issue, because guess what? That means you're going to now have a different issue that you would have to be recovering from. And so the trauma thing, I think, sometimes gets us a little hung up. But eventually, you learn to take those traumas and turn them into your superpowers. And so I was a very lonely child. I did not have a lot of friends. I was homeschooled. And I'm not knocking homeschool, right? It's just that, because of my age and where I was, from a homeschool standpoint, I didn't have many friends my age. And any friends that I did have were at church, and there was a church school at the church that I went to, and they all knew each other, right? Because they were with each other 6 days a week, Sunday through Friday, right? And here's this kid who comes along who's, there Sunday and Wednesday. I don't know them, right?
Rough.
That's not their fault.
Right.
Right. It's where they were. Right. But as a, 8, 9, 10, 13, 15-year-old, it was lonely. And so I decided I'm going to become a affable, life of the party, funny, friendly, make fun of myself kind of guy. So now here I am, right?
You did it.
Congratulations.
You've peaked.
He peaked at 13.
Right here on the Love Heals podcast. Right. 13.
Yeah, he blossomed right in front of us.
Yeah. So
That makes sense.
I think it was more than 90 seconds though.
That was way more than 90
We'll
seconds.
allow it, though.
Yeah, we'll allow it. So why collaboration though? So why are you so hung up on that? Like, what is
I don't want anybody to feel lonely.
Aha.
I don't want anybody to
the whole
feel
trauma
lonely.
thing.
Listen, I know, but we guys.
That's why I love Heals.
Yeah, well, our tagline.
So that nobody walks through hardship alone.
Yeah.
Because it sucks.
Yeah. No, I
'Cause I
think,
know.
I think unfortunately the human condition, and I was talking to a friend of mine about this, because the church should be where we feel the most able to share. And it's kind of the opposite. And I think it'd be interesting, almost not to knock the church, but to discuss how what you're saying you saw with these nonprofits doing the same work, not together. You could say the same thing about the church doing the same work.
Well, and
not together.
And the thing that everybody has to keep remembering, right, is I'm not going to knock nonprofits or churches, and I know you're not either, but they're made up of people.
Yes, with all the array
church,
of what that means.
The church technically
Is the people.
It doesn't exist. It's just people, right? And we get hung up. We get hung up on what happens in a building, but it's just people, and it's just relationships. And all of those people are the heroes in their own story. They're walking through life. They're not thinking about what you've got going on. They're not thinking about, hey, you just came off of a cold and you're not feeling well. And, maybe I shouldn't poke at you when you first walk in the door, right?
But I did.
But I did. And here we are.
Why wouldn't I?
But my point in all that is, that's where I think we often forget that the church is just people. And the way that you make the church stronger is you just strengthen the relationship with the people around you that maybe happen to go to the same physical church that you do. But you also have to remember that globally, we're all part of the church if we share that common belief that Jesus is the Son of God and he's the only way to heaven.
Right.
Like you're part of the church then.
Right. Yeah. And we all are technically on the same mission then.
Right.
So the opportunities for collaboration should be endless, but collaboration is so tough. And I connect with the whole like lonely thing, because like I think we all at the end of the day know what it's like to not have the person or the relationship there, or God. I mean, you could talk about that all day long. Like, where was God? Like, why weren't you there? And there's this cheesy, it's not cheesy, but it kind of is cheesy. There's a song that came out called The Hell of It from a musical, like a Christian musical. And I wasn't expecting it to be
It is cheesy.
as good as it is though, but the whole song is a prayer of thanking God for all the things that he doesn't do or isn't doing, or like, it's like the whole thing is thank you for never rushing in to save the day. Thank you that I don't know where you are, because those are honestly the purest prayers that I've ever been able to muster up most of the time. That's how I'm often feeling. Most people at the end of the day, I've learned, just want to help people. Lawyers, doctors, teachers.
I think that's how you connect your story to other people, is to show people how they can help people through whatever your cause is, right? Because I think nonprofit marketing is really just that simple, right? I mean, almost, like, think about all the things that we've done over the last almost year now, or
We should have a party.
yeah. But if you think about it, really,
crazy.
like the thing that I do, I work the same process every single time with any problem you guys bring to me. It's always the same process. I don't know if you've caught on to it yet or not. But
We're not that smart.
It's always the same.
Speak for yourself.
It's always the same process of how do you make your story, whatever it is, that you're trying to tell relevant for somebody else's need? Why would they need to, right? And you have to turn it into something that's attainable, right? It almost works the same as like SMART goals work, right? It's this idea of like, okay, you have to say something to somebody specifically. It has to be some kind of measurable, but that attainable part is really important for nonprofit marketing, where like take your $25 campaign that you guys did, right? $25 for most people, not all people, but most people is like, could I do $25? And for most people, they're going to at least think about it as being attainable, right? It's going to be a stretch for more, and it's going to be less of a stretch for others. So that's the key, is to make what you're doing attainable. But then from a story standpoint, I think the only thing that moves anybody to action in a meaningful way is there has to be some kind of that emotional spark that happens, which is why, when you guys have storytellers on stage and they tell their story, it's like, right? Yeah. And you walk that fine line in nonprofit marketing of, well, you don't want to like make somebody feel like they're being taken advantage of. Like, let's trot their story out there.
It's always a huge thing we're trying to war against.
Right, like the SPCA commercials, right? Like not knocking the SPCA, but like, you put those sad dogs on there and like people are like, oh my gosh, those poor dogs.
Yeah.
Right? That's like what they do. Well, they put a basset hound or a beagle or something like that looks sad. Right?
Outside.
They make it black and white.
Yeah. And then they add the cue sound music and then
Yeah,
that's good.
exactly.
That's good.
That's the one.
Yeah, that is the one.
Yeah, you got me.
I'm not sick anymore.
Tell me where to give.
Wait, but isn't that so frustrating? We get frustrated about that because it does feel like sometimes people really spin things. It's just,
Well, it feels like we've been talking about it a couple times this week of like, there are a lot of people who are willing. Sorry, I'm trying not to like. Anyways, there are a lot of people who seem willing to push it or fluff up the narrative or put the black and white over the basset hound with Sarah McLachlan. And we're a little more just like, nope, this is it. We're not going to make it sadder than it is. We're actually, that's the other thing too, is we're always trying to take the really sad story and not make people sad.
So you've deepened the level of emotion there then is what's happened. And so for some people, they're going to bail at that point because they feel like they have to emotionally invest more, right? It's easier to just look at the screen, see the black and white of the basset hound and give $25, $50. Exactly. You don't feel like you have to build a relationship.
Yeah.
But for some, there's that additional emotional investment that they have to make in order to participate in giving to that story of somebody who is fibromyalgia or something along those lines, where you're just like, oh. And in this day and age of so much information, a lot of people are just informationed out. Like they emotionally, they've reached their emotional quotient. And that's why it's so hard. One of the things that nonprofit marketers talk about all the time is how much can somebody take, right? Like, can I just...
Before they scroll right past it.
Before they scroll right past it, before they say, hey, take me off your mailing list, before they say, okay, I'm just not. I'm going to block this. I'm going to unfollow, I'm going to whatever. And sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with whether or not they like you or what you're doing. It might not be that at all. It could just be the emotional level that they can fill their cup
threshold
with
is
overflowing.
Yeah.
So they can't take anymore.
Right. So what do you do about that? Like how are you navigating that world, and how do you help nonprofits navigate that world?
Well, and so there's a little bit of an Elsa strategy there of you just have to let them
Let it go. Okay.
Let it go.
Because you can't be that for everybody.
Right. So is it more important to determine kind of we talk about visualizing the ideal room. Is it more important to listen who's in the room, but it's the right people in the room, and figure out what their emotional cap is and target them?
I think you flip it on its head, and instead of worrying about who's in the room, you focus on what you do. And then you tell that story of what you do, and then the right people will be in the room.
And then the right people follow.
It comes back again. Well, shout out Christine Kennedy again. It comes back to the money follows the mission.
Yeah.
Right. So if you stay focused on that mission and you do that mission better than anybody else around you, then the right people are going to notice.
Yeah.
And the right people are going to. and you don't want to emotionally wear somebody out. But the fact of the matter is, you're going to along the way. You're going to be the cherry on top for somebody.
Yeah.
Where you just arrived at a particular point, and there's nothing you can do about that. But as long as when you're telling your story, you give people an opportunity to just click a button, right? So that they feel like, okay, I can relieve some of that emotion. Here's my response to it. Then you're set. And then for other people, you tell a little bit more of the long form. And over time, you find out who those people are. You find out who your raving fans are over time, who can't get enough of your story. But oftentimes, it just means being faithful to your mission. And one of the former places that I used to work, they tell the story all the time of how they got a very large gift from somebody who they had no idea was capable of giving that at her death. And they stayed faithful to her along the way, making sure that she got the things that she wanted. She was a monthly donor along the way. And then all of a sudden she just drops this massive, estate gift after she passed away. And that just goes to say, if you stay faithful to your mission, God has a way of just, when you need it, it's there. And I think that's really the principle of the Go-Giver too.
Yeah, I love The Go-Giver. I like that book was crazy life-changing because I was like, oh, this could work, because it does seem a little backwards, right? Like,
it's very backwards.
Do everything and give the most.
Yeah.
And trust that it'll come back, and don't just do it to get it back in the future, but like come from a pure motive, pure heart, which is another thing you have to watch out against. So,
well, that also almost feels like a trap in and of itself of like, am I doing this with the right motive, or am I thinking about doing it with the right motive so that it might come back? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's such a catch-22 in your brain.
And that's the human condition, though.
right.
Yeah.
The human condition is constantly reevaluating yourself and saying, am I doing this for the right reason, right? And then you're second guessing, and you're triple guessing, and you're quadruple guessing, and in Sarah's case, you're like 10 times guessing, like
many guessing.
many guessing.
So many guesses.
But that's just the human condition. I tell people all the time, and for a lot of people, they're like, whoa, wait, what? Doing the right thing for the wrong reason is still doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's better than doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So
Got to start somewhere.
yeah, people I think it's Seth Godin who says, just keep doing the action, whatever it is, keep doing the right thing. And your reason for doing it eventually will take care of itself.
It's like conditioning. It's like Pavlov dogging yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in a lot of ways, yeah. And that's in its most basic sense. But over time, just continuing to just give to somebody, eventually you do it with a great attitude. Even if, even if you didn't start out like really liking the person, you're like, I have to do this for them. Yes, you have to do it. But that's the human condition too, is discipline does not come natural.
No.
So if you work the process, eventually it's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working the process. Is that a smile on your face?
So change happens.
Well, like our
Sorry, I had to touch that.
freaked me out. Don't do that.
Calm down.
Our
It
board
wasn't
chair.
like she gave you a hug or anything.
Well, she like caressed the side of my arm
no,
first.
don't like that.
No,
and I
the
was
chair.
There shall be no
My
caressing.
eyes-
No, I'm
No
so
caressing.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, our board chair. He said that anytime that Mike, shout out Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Anytime that he's having like
Short men unite. We lost Sarah.
That's funny.
Let's go short kings.
Short king.
Mike's out here like catching the strays. Not even gonna
He
watch
like
this
this
episode.
like what is happening?
He's like, oh.
He didn't have to
He didn't have
duck.
to duck. He just moved to the side.
Right.
Anyways,
He didn't have to move. Just watch it go by.
hilarious.
That's so funny.
But I'm pretty sure it was him I was talking to, and he said anytime that he's having like a bad day or he's having bad attitude, bad day, whatever, he goes and does something nice for someone else.
Dude, that's a great.
And it works. It fixes your attitude. Anytime you're having a bad day or you're down on yourself, go do something for someone else. Go buy someone's coffee.
Yeah.
And
That's such
it's
a
crazy.
solid.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mike.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's
Yeah,
so
that's
solid.
good.
So solid. No, that's really cool. So to touch back on the ego thing, because we've been in some rooms together through some nonprofit stuff, and I've heard you say some things. I'll just let you free range say those things on, like, when it comes to collaboration, which is your whole MO, when it comes to building something for the good of the community of people, where are you seeing ego get involved, and how does that play out? What does it look like?
So I have this term that I've started to develop, and I call it unexpected ego.
Oh, I like it.
And so the unexpected ego happens in two places that I've observed, especially in the last 2 years. One of them is on the part of the person who is giving something, right? And that ego pops up. Somebody, let's shout out Care Portal.
Care Portal.
Right?
We love
Let's go.
Care Portal.
We love Care Portal.
Yep. Amy Foster.
What's up, Amy? What's up, Janae?
Yeah, Janae.
You guys are crushing it.
Heck yeah.
Somebody responds to and I've, over the years, I've done a few, I think like 3 or 4. Every single one of them was when I was part of 518. And that's when I first noticed this unexpected ego thing happen, where I'm going and I'm giving, I'll use the example of one of the Care Portal deliveries that I did was I took some diapers to this guy who's like, man, I really need some diapers to get me through to my next paycheck. And I'm like driving over to this guy's house or apartment, whatever. And Liam was in the car with me. And
Shout out Liam.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all I'm bringing this guy is a pack of diapers. Like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much, right? Yeah. Well, then something started to happen inside of me. Like, should I be bringing him more? What if this isn't enough? But then it changed how I thought about him who's receiving this. Like, wait, this is all he needed? Like, and so you have that little voice in your head that pops in. It's like, why
It's a
can't
lot to go through on a drive.
yeah, why can't he just do it for himself? But there's all of this because it's new, right? That was my very first Care Portal delivery. So you have all this new stuff that's going through your head, right? And anytime you do something new, you're kind of, how do I do this? What does it look like, right?
Yeah.
So that there's that unexpected ego that happens where I start to think of myself as maybe better than this guy. And I'm just calling it what it is.
Well,
because
great.
It just,
We need to talk about that more, right?
Because it happened, right? And I was like, oh, I don't like that about me, right? And I'm not saying it happens to everybody who does it, but it happens. It happens.
It happens to me. Yeah, there's plenty of times where your brain gets in the way of doing a good
But
thing.
then I noticed something else that happened, and the unexpected ego that happened on the part of the person who was receiving that gift,
Okay.
right? So I hand it to this guy, and he's ready to just like complete the transaction, right? Like knock on his door, I hand it to him, and I was like, hey, yeah, I'd love to like, get to know you a little bit better and like take you for coffee or whatever. I don't really do coffee. And he's like, and I got to go, I got to get ready for it. Closes the door, right? So the whole thing took place like maybe 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I had been texting with him leading up to this to let him know when I was coming and all that. And he's responding. I texted him 4 times afterwards and never heard a peep back from him because I'm like reaching out trying to. But I noticed something. It's hard to receive.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine being so down that you need a sack of diapers just to survive to make it to your next payday? Right?
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard as with your ego to accept that from somebody. He didn't want to have a relationship with me. And it's hard to want to build a relationship with somebody who shows up and he hands you something that in the grand scheme of things didn't really cost me much of anything. Right?
But was everything to them.
It was everything to him.
Yeah.
And so there's
it's a weird power dynamic that.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why I call it the unexpected ego, is because he's being blessed, but he also feels like, oh, well, maybe I'm not saying he did, but maybe he's feeling, well, this guy thinks he's better than me. I can't have a relationship with him. He's coming from a different place that I am. But in the reality, I just wanted to get to know this guy, right? Because I wanted to know, hey, what makes this guy tick? And so not long after that, I decided, okay, if I really want to get to know these people, I needed to go where they are. So I hopped a bus and just went around the city.
Oh, wow.
I'd never ridden like a bus around Lynchburg before. Like I'd never, I did mass transit a couple times in the Philly area to go to a game, but really for most of my life,
You're in a car.
I'm upper middle class. I take my car everywhere, right? It's a whole different environment there. And I probably stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm sitting there. The first time I did it, I had on a shirt and tie. Nobody else on the bus had a shirt and
crazy.
tie on. Right. And so I was like, okay, so next time I'm going to do it, I did it in a hoodie. Right. I was like, okay, I feel it.
Walking around with your hood up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was just different. It was weird. But I think that's part of the human experience is, there's something to be said of the book Pride and Prejudice. I don't know if you've ever read it or not, but people who have a lot of money, just because they have money doesn't mean that they're proud. A lot of those people are some of the most down-to-earth people you'd ever meet, right? And a lot of those people, you wouldn't even know that they have a lot of money. But I've also noticed that people who receive something from somebody else, often have a high level of prejudice.
Interesting.
And it's mainly just to protect themselves. And that's all ego is. Ego is a protection mechanism.
Fascinating.
Did you see Adam Sandler's daughter recently went into some boutique shop and I call it Adam Sandler money. Anytime someone has big money, but they're really humble, as I call Adam Sandler money. So his kid's in this very expensive purse store looking around, and it's literally from the movie.
Pretty
gosh.
Woman?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So she's
That's
looking around.
what I was picturing in my head.
She's literally looking around in the store. It's a very expensive store, and the sales clerk treats her kind of horribly and basically is like, if you're not going to buy anything, please leave.
Right.
So this girl texted her dad. And in comes Adam Sandler, dressed like Adam Sandler, bought the whole store.
Oh,
And
wow.
bought it on a different saleswoman.
Wow.
Because big mistake, huge. It's just that's the funniest thing to me, because that's the Adam Sandler money is the people who come in, and that girl got treated really poorly.
Right.
Because of how she was dressed.
Right. And I think sometimes we get impressed by how somebody's dressed and we make assumptions about them. But I forget where I read it. I don't know. It was an article with Forbes, Wall Street Journal, something along those nature, where the average person who owns a Mercedes makes less than $60,000 a year.
Whoa.
I believe that 100%.
Everything is not what it seems.
Right.
Well, it's because it's like what you were saying, when some of the people who are I don't know, you said it way more eloquently than my brain is trying to make it up, but we when we don't have, or we're lacking in some area, sometimes we'll do one thing to make us seem elevated out
That's
of that.
correct.
Yeah.
Because we're so insecure in the person that we are. We don't think anybody will like us for who we are. So we have to change the outward. And I am going to go ahead and call this out too. It's the iPhone Android debate too. The second that the green bubble shows up in the group chat is like,
Death.
are you poor?
I used to be proud of that green bubble.
It's like the first question.
Yeah.
You were proud of the green bubble?
I loved that I was a green bubble. The only reason I got an iPhone is because it was free. Okay. But I'm kind of the antagonist for that. I'm I will undo everything that you think about anything, which is hilarious.
I have a G on the back of my phone. This is a Google Pixel.
What the heck is that?
Let's go. It's a Google Pixel, right? I've been Android since day one.
That's it.
You're the
Yeah.
worst.
So, I mean, we don't ever text. Right?
I was about to say, I thought you had an
we don't
iPhone. This
text.
is very upsetting for me to find out.
Right.
Live.
But just think about the status thing, right? Even just that, everything about our culture is about status. Who are we? Oh, well, I've got an iPhone. My bubble's not green. I drive this car. I have this. I do that. Right? It's all brand.
Well, even
Where do
the
you grocery shop?
Every time the new iPhone comes out, the camera looks different. So you can tell who's got the newest iPhone just when they're holding it.
Yeah.
And you judge.
And the specs on most of these phones over the last 6-7 years now. Whoops, 6-7. Sorry,
6-7.
my bad. Sorry, my
Don't
kids
help
are
him.
in
His
elementary
children.
school.
all
has
11
to.
of them.
All 11 of them. The specs haven't really changed.
Yeah.
But yet every year people are buying another one.
It's a little scary,
It's
honestly.
insane.
But I have a question then about this whole unexpected ego. What are we supposed to do about relational capital? Because I'm on this whole kick right now where I'm money doesn't solve. I don't think money's the best solution to so many things.
Oh, it's not.
And I'm actually more and more, don't get me wrong. Would I love more money for Live Heals? Yeah, you should donate to support us. However, I'm grateful for these seasons that we're going through because it's causing us, and we were just talking about this before Sarah got in here, we have nothing to lose, so we'll try anything.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that we have this mindset that says we might not have money, but we have people and we have talent and we have time and we can learn how to manufacture things out of nothing. And so it makes us more, I don't know, I just appreciate the position that we're in more than I maybe did a year ago.
So one of the wisest people I've ever talked to in terms of his entire life experience is Robert Day. And just everything that he's been through, done, whatever. Recovering orphan, shout out.
Robert Day was your former boss, right?
Right,
With
yeah.
518.
Yep.
He just retired recently.
Yeah, I would say it's funny. Everybody is saying he's retired, but I think he's probably doing more now than he did when he was.
He's retired from what he was known for and into a new thing. Yeah.
He said something to me that was super profound years ago. And he actually said it to a bunch of people that we were all in the same room. And he said, if you had all of the money that you needed, what would you be doing right now? And if you can quantify what that is, then you just told me exactly what you should be doing right now. If money was no object, what would you do? Money is simply just a tool. It just determines the scale at which you do it. So if it's, I would do X, Y, Z. Well, still do X, Y, Z, even though you don't have, ABC dollars.
Right.
Still do whatever this is at the scale that you can afford.
At the scale that you can. Yeah.
Right.
That's cool.
And
I
then
love
stretch
that.
yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Always stretch, because if you don't stretch, then what?
You're not going to move. Like, you'll just stay there.
I mean, it's like the principles of working out, right? And getting stronger. Yeah. If you don't ever get to the point where you're like, oh, that hurts. There's a burn.
Right.
You don't change. You don't grow.
Right. You stay. Yeah.
And the other thing is too, I think sometimes nonprofits get so focused on changing the world that they forget about who's my neighbor, right? Who's right next door to me. And so we get focused on, I'm going to change this for the whole world. And I'm not knocking churches that get fixated on global missions. Yes, go into all the world and preach the gospel, 100%. But if people know you more for that than they do for going across the street to the mobile home park across the street, like those people don't know anything about what you do in the building and you're right across the street from them, I think that's idolatry.
Ooh, we might have a problem.
I literally tried to work with some churches or talk to people about working with some churches. And we've gotten a couple of responses of like, well, they really only care about global missions. So I honestly wouldn't ask them because they probably won't work with you, which is jarring.
Tragic.
Yeah.
That's
it's so
tragic.
upsetting when we're like, oh, this would be a great partner for us to help someone in their community. And they're like, well, they kind of only do that overseas.
Right. Well, and here's why. I don't think that human beings were meant to change the world at scale. We're meant to change our community.
Yeah.
That's what we're meant to do. If it scales beyond that, great. But think about, like, you have this idea of American exceptionalism, which I don't really want to get into. That's a little wild. But we constantly think of ourselves as, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to be the best athlete. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to change the world. And you know what? I'd say that most people that live will be forgotten within 2 or 3 generations after they die. So stay focused small. Focus small. And that's why I think most movements fizzle out, is because we try to do too much all at once. Just change the world for the person that's right next to you.
Yeah.
And what's like wrong with that? People get so like hung up. Like, why? What's wrong with that?
That is
Unexpected ego.
exactly the right question to
Like,
ask, Sarah.
you change someone else's world.
We downplay it.
And it's so it's stupid. It makes me mad.
I'll say from the nonprofit standpoint, when it even comes to applying for a grant, I mean, there's so many ways that you can feel like you're not doing enough when you're up against X, Y, and Z organization applying for this grant to do this many things. And it's hard to ever feel like you're doing enough. I'd say I struggle with that a lot. Like, we always want to do more. And
So, I mean, look at the greatest human being to ever walk the earth, Jesus Christ.
I was going to guess.
Elton John.
Elton John, Mother Teresa. Right.
No.
My bad.
The greatest human being limited his influence.
Yeah.
He didn't go change the world.
No. Yeah. No,
Right?
I mean,
What did he focus on? He focused on, hey, I've got 12 dudes that I hang out with and a few extra people.
yep.
And that's what he focused
Keep
on.
that circle small.
Yep. I had a lot of quiet time and a lot of time away. So Yeah.
And that's discipleship. And I think that's the key. That's the key to Christianity is focusing on making disciples who make disciples. Shout out Blue Ridge.
Oh.
Well, and if you can impact someone at their core versus just like that surface level, that way ups their chances of impacting someone else. Because if someone's only impacted at the surface level, what are they going to do? Say something light and move on? They probably won't even share that. But if it's in their core, and that comes from spending time.
And think about that value that you guys just both both of you were kind of like hashing that through. Is it worth doing because this other organization has bigger effect is going to swoop in and get this grant, right? Mm-hmm. Who defines what's worth doing? If you change the world for one person, is that not worth it?
Mm-hmm.
What more do you need to do? I mean, if you had the opportunity to change the world for one person, you do it. And then you had the opportunity again. Well, now you've got a double blessing.
Do it. Yeah.
So I think, to your point, we get hung up on, we're not doing enough. To your point of, isn't that enough? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it is. Mm-hmm. And I think if people understood that better, they'd better understand the principle of rest. Mm-hmm. They'd better understand the principles of family, fellowship, discipleship. Mm-hmm. Because
the little things that make life worth living, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the theme of, so I'm a big Tolkien fan, right? It's yeah.
Loser.
100%. Right? You have two whole races that are my size, dwarves and hobbits. Let's go.
I mean, it was perfect.
Let's go.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Can't grow a beard, but
we'll
You're
get
halfway
there.
there.
Nope, I cannot grow a beard.
I
Tried.
just meant height wise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she meant you're half dwarf.
Dang. Sorry. That's cold.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh, my gosh.
That's funny. That just dawned on Court. Oh, that's crazy.
But Gandalf, he has this conversation with Galadriel about the halflings, right? The hobbits. It's the small, everyday acts of kindness. That's what caught Sauron off guard.
Yeah.
It was unexpected. And think about that for a second, though. Do we live in a world where everyday acts of kindness are unexpected?
Yes.
What a shame.
It's like, have you ever been in the Starbucks line and someone buys your drink in front of you? I could cry. Every time that happens, I'm like, I'm following them home. I'm following them home just to be like, it's crazy.
But think about if that was flipped on its head and it was more common.
Oh, yeah.
You just, yeah.
Think about if social media was a place where kindness happened rampantly instead of bullying.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And for me, I think how I know that I've had an effect on people is if I'm like walking through a room and somebody's having a conversation and they're like, oh, Rob, you need to talk to this person because this happened over here. And hey, I really appreciate what you did for me over there. Right?
Yeah.
That fills my cup, man. Right? Like you want to follow that person home because they did something for you. And in the grand scheme of things, like the Starbucks drink costs what, $6.50?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, right? That $6.50 doesn't go with them when they die. But how'd you feel? Right? And I think that we've lost that sensation of regularly having kindness done to us, but also regularly doing kindness to others. Those small, everyday acts of kindness.
Just something, yeah. Just to.
So since it's so rare,
Yeah.
that's why I'm doing the collaboration project. I want it to be common. I want it to be something right here in my community where people say, oh, yeah, why wouldn't we do that?
Why wouldn't
I just say yes? It doesn't cost me a whole lot. Why wouldn't I just help this person out?
Easy, yeah. Which is perfect because I was going to segue into what are you excited about building right now?
The collaboration project.
Okay.
In the next 2 weeks, that website will go live.
Okay. Where can people find it?
Thecollaborationproject.org.
Ooh. I like it. It's on the nose.
Yeah.
No mystery. It's just what it is.
Clarity. Missing clarity.
Almost all of my marketing that I've ever done, all the stuff that's like the coolest, it's always like, well, that's a little bit on the nose.
Very, yeah.
Ta-da!
Well, everyone also tries to just make their name of something like crazy and confusing and edgy and like one word. And I'm like, I don't know what you do.
Or they make up a word.
Or they combine 8 words and they're like, we're cool.
Right.
It's
And
gonna catch on.
I'm not knocking something like Truist Bank, for instance, or whatever. But like Truist, I'm like, what is that? I don't
That's a
know.
great point.
I don't know what
idea.
it is. You just kind of accept it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just like, that's what it is.
You just made up a word.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That,
Sure.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'm excited about. I've had a lot of insight and wisdom come from a lot of different people. Shout out one of the greatest human beings I've ever met, Allison Jordan.
Love her. I quote Allison all the
She's cool.
time,
I like her.
who apparently quotes Christine Kennedy all the time.
Who quotes Christine Kennedy? There's some movers and shakers in this community. And one of the things that I've noticed is that one of the ones that's just kind of quietly going around in the background, just really living out, rooting for rivals and just cheering people on and finding ways to consistently do it better is Allison. And it's somebody like I want to make t-shirts that just say "Be like Allison." Like
I'll wear it.
and I just want like an
That's hilarious.
outline of her face and the glasses.
Glasses.
Yes, excellent.
Yes.
I
Like,
told
I would
Allison
buy
she's
it.
one of the few
Make
people I would follow blindly into battle. I'm like, if Allison's leading the charge, I will be behind her. Like, 100%.
100%.
We ride at dawn. Like, let's go.
Let's
I told her
go.
that. She said, don't do that.
First of all, I don't
like,
think
"Please
she
don't do
likes
that."
getting up at dawn. But
Well, no, but I will ride at dawn. Whenever she says is
Right
the
to
best
her
time to
front
ride
door.
is when I'll
It will
ride.
be locked. She'll be like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's been the biggest cheerleader of this. And it's like, along the way, I haven't really known what to do with it. I've had a lot of soul searching. There've been a couple times where I'm like, am I actually going to do this? What are we going to do with it? Is it going to be something? And it's like, oh, I'm going to do it. And really the whole idea of it is to just find a way to say yes to as many people as I can. And if I can't say yes, I'm going to find somebody who can.
So what's your why?
So it's so funny. So Amy Foster asked me that back right before we had Hudson. And so I spent a lot of time thinking about it. So my why for the collaboration project is currently 3 pages long. That's a problem.
That's a long why.
But to narrow it all the way down, it's, I believe in the ability that people have to do kindness to each other. And I believe that if they are around other people that believe the same thing as them, that kindness is something that's like compound interest. It's not something that you just add it multiplies. And I think that getting people excited about your mission does 2 things. One, it gets somebody else excited about your mission, but it has another thing that happens. It gets them excited about theirs. And that is where clarity comes in, is that if you stay focused on your mission, somebody else's mission, and you find those people that have like-minded missions, and you get excited about that, it starts to make everything else clear. So my why is, number 1, I love Jesus. And I think that Jesus was very clear. He gave us marching orders, go make disciples. And everybody who interacts with the collaboration project will know, okay, Rob's a Christian, right? There's not gonna be any doubt of that. And the people that I'm gonna help along the way, I'm not gonna put that on them, that they have to be Christian. But if you're gonna be part of, you've got to have the same value set that I have. And because we can't have the same mission if we don't have the same values. It just is. Yeah. It's just not possible. Now I can collaborate with you, right? I can help you, and I can find ways to come alongside of your business or your nonprofit or whatever it is. But we don't believe the same things. So our values aren't the same. So people that are part of the collaboration project, they have to agree that we're going to do things how Jesus said to do them. But then on top of that, then it becomes more about radically living out, helping somebody with no expectation of return. But at the same time, knowing that if somebody does help me without expectation of return, I need to give back in kind, right? So that's where go giving and collaboration kind of come together. You have to have this attitude of, I'm just going to go give, but that person who then receives, who's part of this collaboration project, the expectation from me then for them is, I'm going to hold you accountable. Somebody did something for you, you got to turn it around. And I'm going to help you figure out a way to do that. Because we don't always know. If somebody does something nice for us, we don't always know, oh man, how do I come alongside? How do I help this person, right? Like John's letting you use this, right?
Yeah.
And how do you turn that around?
We don't. We just take. We are grateful.
We're big on just taking. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it becomes like you have to get kind of creative sometimes, right? Where for John, he loves the fact that this is being used.
Yeah, that's true.
He loves it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the way that you then turn that around is it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to shout out John when I can. Or somebody says, I need insurance for my company. Ding, ding, ding.
John,
right?
John at Midstate Group. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
And that's where, John doesn't have any expectation of that from you, right? But that's collaborative because then you're walking around saying, you know what? I'll try and find a way to bless back.
Yeah, totally. No, I love that.
I have one more question, and then if you have anything before we
Go ahead.
wrap it. Okay, so what has been the biggest change that you've seen from meeting with Courtney in Love Heals in 2019 versus us now? Because you even predate me coming into Love Heals.
BS.
It's before Sarah is what we call it. That was coined by our friend Mac. Thank you, Mac.
Let's go. I haven't met Mac. I need to meet Mac.
Well, she lives in New Hampshire, so it makes
Good
it
luck.
hard.
Oh, well,
We have a sneaky
down
undercover mission we're trying to do in Boston. So
let's go. Okay, so what has changed? I'm going to answer it in two parts because I think that the ministry and mission has changed over that time. But it's also been cool to see the people change over time. The first time that I met Courtney, my biggest takeaway was, dude, she's super excited about this, but she doesn't really know what this is.
and that was 100% true. I was like,
You're pretty easy to read.
yeah. It's on the nose.
Because I walked away from it and I looked at our friend Soli. Shout out Soli.
Love Soli. We love Soli.
And I looked at Soli and I was like, so we spent an hour with them. What do they do?
And we didn't know.
Right. And so for me, the coolest thing is to watch you guys try new things, right? Like you've tried a number of different things, and some of the things you've kept and some of the things you're like, no, we're not going to do that. Right. But that I think is the best way for a nonprofit to operate. And I know some people that are like, high discernment type people are kind of like, oh, Rob, I don't know about that. But it's what I call the ready, fire, aim mentality.
Yes.
Which I think stresses Sarah out a little bit.
Sometimes.
Or discerner.
I've gotten better at taking it, but
Because the best way to just take aim at something is to just start, right?
Yeah.
machine gun, yeah.
Yeah, just like fire away.
Let's see what it hits. I don't
And
know.
you're like, just like
Yeah.
operating the machine gun. You're like, oh, I'm hitting over here and I'm hitting over there. And it's like, oh, now I'm hitting it.
I'm a sniper, and Courtney is firing a machine gun behind a little barricade. And I just sit there like,
Sarah's targeted on the one, and I'm just like, well, the whole thing's destroyed.
I'm like, I can see him from here. And Courtney's
Sarah's
like,
just like,
over there.
yeah. I give away Sarah's like positioning all the time. Like if Sarah's undercover and I'm with her, yeah, everyone knows where you're positioned.
Yeah, we're
Sorry.
Yeah, you're just on top of the Humvee, just like mowing everything down.
And Sarah's like, I was supposed to be undercover. You just gave up your position. So funny.
So I think it's been cool to kind of watch that kind of focus, right? Because, initially it was just like,
Anything,
just
everything,
try
all the
it.
time. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then there was a maturity that happened.
Yeah.
Right? Because you experienced a lot of hardships along the way. You experienced a lot of unexpected hardships along the way.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that hurt. You had to walk through your own healing. And I think that's the part of when you start helping other people, you have to come face to face with the reality of this hurts. And it hurts at the personal level. Yeah. And you have to walk through things like betrayal. And you have to work through things like trauma. And you guys did that. And
continue to do it and try not to be
Every
totally
day.
disgruntled all the time.
and so the first time I met Sarah was sitting in the back of Mission House downtown. That's no longer there. Shout out, Tommy.
R.I.P.
Let's go, Tommy. And Sarah did this thing. She's like, okay, we're here. You're here. So you can't ask these questions in between just yet because our relationship's not there.
Yeah.
Right. And I respected that, right? Because I'm the type of person who wears my heart on my sleeve and I'm just like 100% vulnerable with somebody right out of the gate. Kind of like.
Same.
Yeah. Like Courtney. Courtney's just like, ta-da!
Don't look away.
And meanwhile, Sarah's like,
Yeah.
right? And so, you guys have figured out how to make that dynamic work.
Yes.
Right. And also kind of like this, I have an ability to kind of like look into the future for an organization and be like, man, I know where you guys are going to be in 10 years.
Yeah, he said that, and I was like, where? Tell me.
Keeps wondering.
Because sometimes I still don't know what we're doing. I'm like, it's working, and we're going to keep doing it. But I'm not where the long term is. I don't know.
And so part of the reason why I say that to people,
Just to get them freaked out.
not to get them freaked out, because hope is a funny thing.
Yeah, it is.
Hope requires fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, for a lot of people, verbal affirmation is great fuel. Words, if you put things into words and you verbally say it out loud. One of the books that Allison Jordan recommended to me, and I went kicking and screaming into this thing. I'm not done it yet. Sorry, Allison. Live it, pin it, dream it. Dream it, pin it, live it. I don't know. I'm saying it out of order, I think. Dream it, pin it, live it. Yeah, dream it, pin it, live it. That's how it goes. Right?
Got it.
Saying something out loud, putting it on a board, visualizing it. There's power there. There's a reason why we exist in a physical universe. And so I'll say those things to you because, yes, do I know where you guys are going to be in 10 years? 100%.
Yep. He's bluffing.
And the cool thing about it is if you keep saying it out loud, guess what you guys keep trying to do?
Get there.
Exactly. Because, the idea of putting, Allison's like face on a t-shirt and like,
Wearing it proudly down the street. Yeah.
We're with Allison or whatever, right? Is because there's a certain, we like that. We like kind of latching on to movements and people who represent those movements. And I do. I look at this and I'm like, dude, Super Bowl stage in 10 to 15 years.
Let's go.
Right?
Yeah, I almost said something controversial, but I'll save it for off.
I was waiting for you.
But here's the thing. Look at like what just happened with Jelly Roll the other day, right? Look at where that guy came from. And it's all just simply because he kept saying yes.
You have to be resilient in pursuit of yes, because there's a lot of ways to say no and a lot of easier outs. And that's where I say I'm grateful for this struggle and I'm projecting gratitude into it. Because no, we don't have major funding. No, we don't have major sponsors and blah, blah, blah. What we are saying yes to is figuring out how to use raw material and convert it into something. But that requires everyday resilience. So that I think any builder of anything, if you're going to build something, you have to learn how to take raw material and turn it into something like you just do.
And all resilience is just a scale to measure your tolerance to pain.
Yep.
That's all it is. Like, hey, if you tell somebody...
Can you take more? Turn it up.
Right? Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. So like the word passion, when somebody says they're passionate about something, origin-wise, right? Passion is just pain tolerance.
Yeah. I think I've heard that. So I think I read your thing, but I heard someone else say it a little differently. They said passion is the measure to which you're willing to suffer for something. Yeah. So like if you're passionate about something, it means you are willing to suffer this much. Right. Whereas if you're not passionate about it, you're only going to suffer not at all.
It's why so many marriages fail. Because people,
that's a fun conversation.
People marry people that they obsess with first, right? But they forget one important ingredient. You got to pick somebody that you can suffer with.
Suffer with,
because they're going to make decisions that are going to hurt you. You're going to make decisions that are going to hurt them. And you have to decide, am I going to be able to stick it out with them? Are they going to be able to stick it out with me? Right? Like outside of Jesus, getting married is the most important decision somebody who's married can make. So I tell people all the time, don't rush to marriage.
Yeah.
Stay single.
Yeah.
That is the most important decision if you make it, if you choose to make it. If you don't choose to make it, good for you. You don't have somebody that you
did it.
have to suffer with because you're going to. Even the most perfect looking marriages on the outside, man, those people suffer together. So that's passion. That's ministry. That's resilience.
Everyday faithfulness.
My dad calls it pain is weakness leaving the body. When I was growing up, every time I got hurt, what is pain? Weakness leaving the body. Like that's what this whole thing has been, and it builds your resilience and your passion.
And don't lose sight of the fact that pain also hurts like hell. So
Yeah, it does, and you're gonna suffer, and it's so fun.
Yay.
No, for me, it's been I've kind of for some reason believed that most people quit in the space where we are now. So I know that I can be above. I don't know why I know this. I just know. I'm just have some sort of blind faith in something that I know if we can just out suffer everyone, the thing will work. It's just how uncomfortable can you be for how long? And if you can keep holding out and keep moving, like you automatically are in a different bracket.
well, your mission is building resilience too.
True.
So you're building that resilience, but then your mission has to go through certain things too, right? Because like as an organization, you're what, 5 years old?
4.
4.
We'll be 4 in March.
Think of a 4-year-old.
True. They don't know what's going on.
Brats.
Meltdowns.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a few 4-year-olds now.
Yeah.
And every one of them has been different, but they've all had one thing in common. They don't know what the hell they want. They don't.
Same.
What's going on?
They don't know. And so I think it's important to remember and to pause on a regular basis and say, we're only 4 years old. Right? Don't compare yourself to somebody else's best day. You know, compare your best day to your last best day and then make the next one better.
I love that.
That's good.
So that is a great final word there is what would you say to someone who's building something? What's your one piece of advice in a sentence? Are you able to do it?
Yeah. My best first piece of advice for anybody who's looking to build something is find somebody to do it with first.
Well,
That's good.
And so don't go building something new until you've exhausted looking around to see if somebody else is doing it. Go do it there first. Let that be the training ground. Right? Because if you can find an organization that's already doing what you want to do and go work for them for a few years, learn, make mistakes in that, it becomes your sandbox then. You know, don't go making something new. We have too many new things. You know, and I say this all the time. People hear me say it and they're like, oh, Rob, don't say that. But we have too many nonprofits and too many churches in Lynchburg.
Agreed.
Some of those could merge. Some of them could, come together. They'd be more powerful. They'd be able to have more effectiveness.
right.
But that ego thing keeps getting in the way.
Yeah. No,
No, that's really good.
that was it. I love it. We wanted the podcast to share because we have conversations with Rob all the time, but no one else knows who Rob is. So you're just a name. So now we'll have to bring on some of the names that were shouted out. We got Tommy, Amy, Allison, just all the names. Christine.
People, Christine Kennedy. Yeah.
But this is Lynchburg.
Yeah.
And you got people like that here in Lynchburg? Mm-hmm. What's up?
Something's coming. I'm excited to see what it is.
Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much I just dropped the mic. Thanks so much for watching today. We will link all the ways to find Rob in the description below. Another shout out to Christine Avery if you're looking to buy, sell, downsize, all the things in Lynchburg or Richmond. All of her information will also be in the description below.
We love Christine.
We love Christine. She's awesome. And thank you to Liam, who will be watching this with Glee later and editing. So thanks, Rob. We'll see you guys next week.
Cue outro music.